Rhythm is tingling through my fingers, up my body like vines on a tree. A timeless piece rocks on forever. Swinging time, 12th and vine, get in line for Callaway Live. They sold out the room, danced the Lynn Hop groove, and the Jasmine Blues. There's nothing like the midnight sound. There's moments spinning around. Can't be nothing better than Cap's stormy weather. Kansas City was a jazzing town. Players traveled for miles around. Cap stoked the crowd with stormy weather. Swinging time, 12th and vine, stood in line for Callaway Live. They sold out the room, danced the Lynn Hop groove, and the Jasmine Blues. Catch that groove inside your shoe, dancing on air and spinning around. There's nothing better when we're together with the rhythm, stormy weather. The rhythm is a rocking and a kicking and a jumping and swinging, yeah. Move your body, move your body, move your body to the rhythm, to the rhythm, to the rhythm.
Good morning, good Sunday morning. Welcome to our 8th show here at Morris Media Studios. This is your host, Linda Morgan, and you are on Jazzabrations Live with me this Sunday morning. As always, I'm excited to be here. I have some amazing friends, as always. Today is our show. That's why we are here at 8:30 in the morning versus 3 p.m., which is our regular scheduled time. I have with me one of my wonderful members of my church. My church is off the chain, y'all. I just want you to know that up front. Morningside United Church of Christ. We got some of the baddest, the coolest, the world's greatest singers on the planet. And I have one of them in the studio with me this morning, none other than Miss Elisa Gomez Taylor. Welcome to my show, Elisa.
Thank you, Linda, for inviting me.
Wow. I am so excited to have you. And I know you have some amazing music for us to listen to today. Maui Dreams. Mm-hmm. We just opened up with Callaway Live.
I was just thinking about Cap Callaway. And fortunately, I had some amazing musicians I was working with in Hawaii a little time ago, and I composed that song, as I did all the songs on that album. And I had this kind of feel of where I wanted to, flow with the music, jazz-wise. And we were able to take it there and just make it kind of like a little funk underneath of it. So I loved it.
So, I like that first cut as well, and it leads out to the rest of the ballads that's on the CD.
The rest of the songs, they're not all ballads. They're mid-tempo with a little Latin groove. It's kind of like a Latin funk, but more, the jazz side, Latin jazz funk, that particular album.
Okay,
Yes.
well, I am excited and ready to jump into listening so that our callers can get a feel of this new CD, Maui Dream.
I'm so excited because I actually recorded these songs when I lived in Hawaii years ago. And when I moved here over 10 years ago, I never released the songs here. And I have a catalog of songs I had written over there. And many I still have to record. So I said, this will be a great time after my Lava Man CD. Go ahead and just bring these songs back. And I had added some background vocals from our Morningside Choir.
Oh, great.
That was really exciting. So I had arranged the phrasing of what I wanted to hear on the CD and also allowed them to be creative because they're absolutely amazing. And then I'm just presenting the music here in live now, finally.
That is amazing. Well, I know our callers are going to enjoy your CD. What would be the next song that you think we should go into?
And you know what? We can even talk over the songs if you don't mind, because we have a lot we can share.
Okay.
The next song would be Maui Dream.
The title cut.
The title cut is Maui Dream, and it's about the beauty of Maui and how I felt when I was living there. It was paradise indeed, but it was magical because we see pictures of it, right? And it's like when you get there, you get to taste the air and smell it there, and the colors are just as vivid, but it actually it flows through your body when you're there. The air, the wind, and like I said, the aroma of it just takes you on another planet. Just
Wow.
being in Hawaii. And I was fortunate enough to live there for 6 years.
Okay, well, let me take a little quick listen. I heard Maui Dreams already, but listen to this wonderful sound.
Maui dream, the way you make me feel. Maui dream, the things you let me see. I'm in paradise, a dream come true. Not afraid to be all I can be. Maui dream came true for me. You've opened up my world completely, like a storybook of a lover's tale. In the arms of my true love, my shielded heart is now unveiled. I can tell you anything just looking through my eyes. Reveal all my dreams to you and promise till I die. Maui dream, the way you make me feel. Maui dream, the things you let me see. Maui dream, I'm in paradise, the dream come true. I'm not afraid to be all I can be. Maui dream came true for me. Maui dream, is it the way you make me feel? Maui dream, the things you let me see. Maui dream, I'm in paradise, a dream come true. Not afraid to be all I can be. Maui dream, the sweetest visions of my true love.
All right, y'all. How did you like Maui Dream? That is an amazing cut. Girl, this CD is off the chain.
Thank you.
For all of you out there listening and watching us, I am Linda Morgan, the host of Jazzabration Live, and I am back with my guest, Miss Elisa Gomez Taylor. She is a member of my church, Morningside United Church of Christ. She is a fabulous Latin jazz singer. And she does R&B as well, right?
Yes. Actually, I grew up doing R&B. My brothers had a band. It's called the Billy Taylor Band, and my father managed the band. And my father worked for the government, but he also was a musician. He played upright bass, and he was an audio genius. He would fix everyone's radio, TV, and stereo equipment back in the 70s and 80s. He had a shop where he just took care of everybody around the region. Everybody knew him, and he would build speakers to sound better than Bose. Huh.
Wow.
And taught my brothers how to do that as well. So he managed the band. I said he played upright bass, right? He played in the Navy, which was really cool. And then he managed the band, and we traveled regionally. So I sang lead and backup with my brother's band. It was mostly R&B funk music.
What was the name of it?
The Billy Taylor Band.
Get out of here.
Back in Dayton, Ohio. Funktown.
Billy Taylor is your father?
Not that Billy Taylor. It's a different Billy Taylor. Different Billy Taylor.
Yeah.
But still a musician, a great musician he was. And it was a lot of fun. I was singing with my band in between playing tennis because I played a lot of tennis. Okay, I got to quit playing and go to rehearsal. So it was a lot of fun. And then I had my mom's music. My mom's from Cuba, and she had a lot of wonderful big band, Latin band music. So
she was a singer as well?
She wasn't a singer. She sang in church. Beautiful voice. I would just look up at mom and say, wow, I hope I can do that. And Lord behold, I'm singing. But yeah, I had her music, and then my brother's funk music, my dad's jazz collection. He had a huge collection. So he had a music salon. So he had members of the community, folks doing amazing things, come over. They would sip on their Jack Daniels and talk about jazz and talk about audio equipment. So I was always hearing this eclectic, array of music when I was growing up. So when I really started singing jazz, I was amazed. I was like, I really know these songs. I already know these songs. So it was just a matter of getting my key together, working with musicians, and it just came really naturally. And through my course, I study a lot with different professional teachers who are also singers as well.
Wow.
So I've been very fortunate. I studied in school as well. I got a degree in organizational communications. However, I studied music in school, but mostly privately. So when I was ever working on a record such as Lava Man, which I did some years ago here in Los Angeles, it had a Brazilian feel to it. So as I was collaborating with Sandro Albert, who was my producer and co-writer, I said, Sandro, I need a Brazilian vocalist, teacher that can help me through some of these songs because I'm hearing something here, but I can't quite get there. And, a lot of the top singers have coaches.
Vocal coach. Oh, absolutely.
For various reasons. So my reason was I'm hearing something and I'm not quite sure how to get there. So I was fortunate enough to be introduced to a lady, Carol Rogers, who worked at MI at that time, Musician Institute. And she was able to get me there. Carol Rogers toured and sang with Sergio Mendes. She is fabulous. And then on the jazz side, I worked a little bit with Kevin Littau, who also toured with Sergio Mendes. They discovered her. And I did jazz improv classes with her, which was amazing. And right now I'm studying a little Brazilian flavors as well with just recently Paulinho Garcia, who's from Brazil.
Oh.
And he was absolutely amazing. He's famous.
And he lives here?
He lives here, yeah, but he travels all over the world. He's famous, and he knows and sings the most beautiful Brazilian songs. He plays guitar. And I had a workshop with him with some other folks, professional singers. And it was about 3.5-hour workshop. And it's just a history that you learn, even though I've read about it, but it's amazing when it comes from someone that lives it. Right, and we talked about the rhythms and so forth, and which are very different from Latin rhythms, which is a whole new, ball of wax. So yeah, I do Latin music, do Brazilian music, I do jazz music, and I put some R&B in there. It's just because I grew up around all this music, and I sing in various languages. And sometimes I venture out. I may try a song, an Italian song. I may try a French song, but it's very rare. But they're like staple songs, classics. And it depends if somebody asks, "Hey, can you sing this song?" I was like, "Okay, let me work on it."
Well, you are very talented, and it shows through your new CD, Maui Dreams.
Thank you.
And we're going to come back to that when we have a caller on the line. Caller, thank you for calling. Oh. Who do we have on the line?
Hi, this is Sandra, and I have had the absolute privilege of hearing Elisa sing at the Grand Wailea in Maui, Hawaii, as well as other places. And I do have a question for Elisa. She is so brilliantly talented.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning.
How you doing, my love?
I'm doing great. And my question is, how do you manage, and particularly on this song called Innocence, how do you manage to mix such soulful spirituality in all of your writing with downright sexiness? How do you do that?
That's a great question.
Oh, wow, that's a good question. Okay, the spiritualness would be in the words, because there's always a message, as you know, Sandra. We talked about this. There's a message in each song, and it's just how it's delivered in the way that it's easy on the ears, it's easy to receive, and you can make it as sexy, the words sexy, but it's just how you deliver it. And you can make the word spiritual, it's just how you deliver it.
Well, you do both at the same time. That's what I don't understand.
Well, that's a good combination.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. I'll try to do more.
Well, no, it is absolutely amazing because you listen to it on one level and it's beautiful and it's entertaining, but then that song lives inside of you, and it seems to sort of grow and grow and grow. And each time you hear it, you feel something different. It's amazing.
Thank you. And that's from my Lava Man CD, too. Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it so much, my sister.
Well, I just want to thank you again for the privilege of hearing that sacred voice of yours. And I'd like to know when and where you're appearing live so I can go see you.
I will let you know. I just had a string of private events, and I'm going to be putting together a CD release party, and it's going to be a party, and I will let you know, of course.
Okay, because your singing is always party. That's what I want to say about that. So thank you very much for letting me share.
Thank you for calling in to Jazzabrations Live.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But that's great that one of your friends called in. I know whenever you hear that little beep in our ear, that means that someone else is trying to call in. But
that's
we're
wonderful.
going to continue. Now, she was speaking of a song, Innocence. I listened to that on Lava Man, too, so I know exactly what she's talking about. But we're going to go into your next cut on Maui Dreams. What's your next cut that you want to go into on Maui Dreams?
I Adore You.
I Adore You. Who were you talking about?
In my writings, I also observe other people, what they're going through, and observe, how they behave with their loved ones. And sometimes that will strike up a phrase in my head. And then I start working on that, working on the lyrics.
And creating a song.
And creating a story about what I had just witnessed. I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. One of the songs that I had recorded, A Lover's Tune. I happened to be finishing up a gig, and I went to one of my favorite restaurant bars on the water in Hawaii called Corelli's, an Italian restaurant. And a lot of times musicians, after they're done, they'll meet up someplace and we'll share, where we played, what happened, because there's always something happening, right, in our gigs, something fun. And that particular night, it was raining, and there was lightning, which is very rare in Hawaii. And when I noticed, it was a half moon, and it was kind of falling. And I just stopped and looked at it, and I said, wow, that moon, is it falling? What's going on here? And I took out my napkin and my pen, which I always have with me, or I'll grab a napkin and start writing. have you ever seen a half moon falling? And that's how I started out my song. And then
I Adore You?
No, that's a lover's tune.
Oh, okay.
It's called A Lover's Tune. And that's how I started out writing that particular song. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so we're going to go into I Adore You.
Okay.
And because I love to hear that story as to why you said adore versus love.
When you see other people out and the way that they look at each other and how their eyes connect and, you know, how they snuggle up, it's like they adore each other.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not always about my experience, but it's about others' experience, what I see. And I tell that story about somebody else.
Yes.
Chanted by the whispers of Yo te adoro con mucho amor. You kissed my hand and a star fell from the sky. You wrapped me in your arms so tight. I remember sweet memories of our past. A love, a web that didn't last. Pero en mi corazón vives tú. Feelings we shared slipped away. Now you're back in my life again. But will you stay? You always kept me laughing. Then you left my heart to cry. I'm living for the sun to rest upon me and dry away the tears from my eyes. Que te adoro con mucho amor. Con mucho amor. Mírame. Sabe que eres mi adoración y lo serás mi vida entera. Lying underneath the stars, you turned to me with a whisper of Te quiero amor. You held me close to your heart and said so tenderly, this is where I long to be, because it's you I adore. You always kept me laughing. You left my heart to cry. I'm living for the sun to rest upon me and dry away the tears from my eyes. Que te adoro con mucho amor. Que te adoro. Mi amor. Sabe que eres mi adoración y lo serás mi vida entera. Vida entera. Give me love.
Well, righty. All right now, I adore you. That cut is just as bad as all of these cuts on this CD. This is an amazing CD. And for you have waited all this time to release it, it's just as timeless as it was probably when you recorded it.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it has those different elements of R&B and that little jazz and Latin jazz underneath it, you know, some Spanish phrasing in there. It's all about love.
Yes, it's a great tune.
It's current stuff.
And that's the thing about music. Mm-hmm. Music is always timeless. It never
really
expires. I'm still listening to oldies back in the in the 60s.
I'm still singing 1920s. If I'm asked, hey, Lisa, we're having this speakeasy. Can you come out and sing some 1920s, 1930s? And the thing about it, my dad was playing this stuff when I was a kid, so it was very familiar to me.
Absolutely.
You know, and you have the greatest artists singing it, you know. Mm-hmm.
That's right, and that's what keeps the music going. It keeps it. And something struck me when you said about the history and keeping up with the legacy of the music, and that's what, you know, the whole thing around the Jazz Living Legends series that we do every month.
That's right.
It's about preserving that music and preserving the legacies of the musicians that are here in Los Angeles that most people don't even know that are still here alive and well and playing.
And you're doing a fabulous job of that, and you're continuing on with it. We totally support that all the way around, Linda. So you have to continue, and we're right there to support you.
I know it, and because of my Morningside family and you and Latrice and Pam and First Lady. I know they are
Pastor.
tired. I love y'all to death. And with that, we're going to take a caller because someone's calling in. Welcome to the show. You're on with Linda Morgan and my guest, Elisa. Who's on the call?
This is Bonnie and Mark.
Oh, we just talked about you.
Good morning, Pastor and First Lady. How are you?
Good morning. Well, you can't think we would miss out on this opportunity to talk about our beautiful Elisa.
No. Oh, you're so sweet. So supportive. I love you both.
This is very exciting, a new CD, right?
Yes. Yes.
We're rushing around getting ready to go to church.
We're going to be right behind you soon.
So you're going to come and join us? So we'll get to see you.
Of course. Of course.
Well, this is so wonderful. This is wonderful. Now, when is all this excitement happening?
Oh, we're working on it. Linda and I are talking about putting a fabulous CD release fundraiser type of event together. So it's in the works.
We like fabulous events.
That's because you put them on every month with Linda.
That's right. This is our First Lady calling, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am indebted to you and Pastor for this moment.
Absolutely.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Elisa.
Hi, Pastor Mark. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm standing by my favorite woman in the world and talking to my next two favorite women in the world.
Absolutely,
I
sir.
want to order 100 CDs.
There you go. They all have to be signed, personally signed.
It's a done deal.
Absolutely. Because you know he will give out them
Very
CDs.
special.
Well, we're so glad. Go ahead.
And I wish you both a lot of luck in
Thank you.
your careers, and I hope that you have some wonderful sales of that CD.
Thank you so much for your blessing.
Absolutely.
Right here, right now.
We don't have to wish you love because you both have lots of love in your life. But we can wish you all the other blessings that there are that come from sharing beautiful music with everyone in the world. That's the great thing to do. It's a wonderful way to spend your life.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I was just telling everyone, Morningside United Church of Christ, we are blessed. We have some of the world-class singers in our congregation.
And nothing but love there, right? At Morningside. That's right.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And sometimes they just sit there and listen in, and other times we get to hear them. So we're grateful.
Yes.
We'll see you both soon. We're rushing out the door.
Okay. We'll see you
Be safe.
at
We'll
church.
see you soon at Morningside.
Love you all.
Love you.
For any of our listeners out there who would love to attend our service, it starts at 11 a.m. this morning. We're at 8722 Crenshaw Boulevard. Come and join us. You might hear you will hear some great singers, because I know Latrice and Pam are putting together a great show for us this morning. But so I know that people are calling in and trying to reach us, but, we're just going to continue our flow and go into our next song. The one that I saw on there was, it's escaping me. But what's the next song that you think?
I Adore You.
No, we just heard I Adore You.
A Lover's Tune? Was
A
that?
Lover's Tune.
And there's Heavy Heart.
Heavy Heart. That was the last song on the CD.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, it was. I got down to the bottom and I heard the Heavy Heart, but A Lover's Tune.
Yes, A Lover's Tune.
I like that.
Okay.
'Cause I'm in love too, so you know.
Oh. I know. I see it every week.
So we are going to tell us a little bit about A Lover's Tune.
Well, that's the story of I wrote the first line on a napkin in Corelli's, an Italian restaurant in Hawaii, after
and
a
that
gig.
was from listening to.
Just watching a moon falling on a rainy night, and it was a bar that sits on the ocean, that sits right on the sand, part of the ocean. I was just looking out, relaxing after a gig, and the moon looked like it was falling. So I just was kind of startled. I was like, wow, what's going on here? So I pulled out a napkin and just scribbled, moon's falling. Have you seen a half moon falling? I turned it into a question. And then I just proceeded to write that story about, have you seen a half moon falling?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a love song.
Well, Felicia, tell us about that one. With your smile on your face as you're listening to these songs. Yes, you go ahead and put that Lover's Tune on.
I have seen a half moon falling, echoes in the night wind calling, searching beyond the sea. The shadow of a face appears to me. Come to me, release your fears, take me in your arms. What they say, is it true? Love's a broken rule. Close my eyes and feel like falling. Silent whispers of you calling. Feel the love I have inside, and secret passions I cannot hide. Searching for tenderness, heartbreak I found. What they say, is it true? Love is just for fools. Open your heart to me, I know just what to do. Tell me all, what do you need? I am in love with you.
Jazzabrations Live, and I'm here in studio with my guest, Elisa Gomez Taylor, and that was a great cut right there.
Thank you, Linda.
I am digging,
especially since you're in love.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm still in love.
Yes, you are. You've been in love for a long time, Mr. Greg. Is he out of town?
No.
Hi, Greg.
He's always working.
I know. Hi.
My baby's so supportive.
I know.
So
We're
lucky.
just saying hello to you, Greg, if you're out
sweetheart.
there in TV land or on your computer looking at us live. The beauty of what I've heard in your CD, you have not only the Maui Dreams, where people can get it now at CD Baby and
right, iTunes,
but your other CD, Lava Man, was a great CD as well.
Thank you. Yes.
Some cuts on the air just spoke out, so you can get both of her CDs, Lava Man and Maui Dreams. Maui Dreams is the latest. Of course, that's what we're talking about. But just so that you know, you can take a listen to both of them on iTunes and CD Baby.
Right. Lava Man has more of a Brazilian jazz feel to it. My co-writer and producer, Sandro Albert, he's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And so it has that flavor in there. Since he was the producer, I was like, hey, whatever you say.
Absolutely.
Let's do this. And we wrote the music together. He composed. He was more the composer. I did the lyrics, but we worked collectively together to create Lava Man. And the music is in English. There might be a few phrasings in Spanish or in Portuguese, but it's mostly English. And it has more of a mid-tempo move, smooth move to it. One of my favorite songs on there, excuse me, is Samba Ecstasy, which is a beautiful samba dance song. And then we also have Bossa Nova by Sunset, which is a Bossa Nova style. Yeah.
Cut. Okay. Yeah. Well, definitely, I know that both of the CDs are wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
I know that people may want to know where you can find you online.
You can find me at elisagomeztaylor.com. That is my website. You can send me an email, elisagomeztaylor@gmail.com. So please reach out if you have any questions, how I can get the music. For bookings, just please let me know what kind of style of music that you're looking for. I'm Latin jazz, do Brazilian, do a little bit of R&B, do a lot of R&B. I just haven't done it in a while because my focus has been more on Latin jazz.
Oh, absolutely.
But my writing is, I write different styles of music. So on Lava Man, you'll have Shame, which is a blues song. So, and when I collaborate with folks, if they say I need a pop song for a young pop star, that's what I work on. So as a creative artist, I love to write and I do compose music. I do chicken scratch, quite honestly, but it gets done. I'm able to communicate that to the arrangers.
What is chicken scratch?
I mean, I can chart out music.
Oh, okay.
I can listen to and chart it out, but it's not beautiful, but it's there. So I can communicate that effectively to an arranger. Says, okay, this is how this music goes. These are the notes here. And then we can work together.
In making it to the finished product.
And get it to the finish line, exactly.
Well, we're going to go into another cut on Maui Dream.
Okay.
Which will be...
Well, I have a song on there, year 2000s here, and because I wrote this music prior to that, and it's kind of like a salsa, like a tropical salsa song. So I have that, and I also have Heavy Heart, which is a ballad.
2000 here.
2000, year 2000s here.
Okay.
And I think it might be in Spanish, too. So
that's right. Let's go there.
Let's listen to it.
And hear that wonderful
cut. Mean, Prince did his, 1999 forever, and people still loved it.
Absolutely.
But it became a hit, though, right?
Absolutely.
Vamos a la fiesta, baila, 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 sentir tu cuerpo meando, te alegra parrandeando, baila, 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 en mi 2000 llegó. Viñaste que te quebra, baila, 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 en él le quedan las manos, no tiene miedo, cenan los ojos, baila, 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 en mi 2000 llegó. Brinca y grito, no hay que tener miedo, destino ya es claro. Brinca y grito, no hay que tener miedo, destino ya es claro. En mi 2000 llegó. años mil llegó.
Wow. Welcome back to Jazzabrations Live with your host, Linda Morgan, and my guest, Elisa Gomez Taylor. Girl, that one was rocking.
That was like homegrown.
Exactly. And when I listened to that, I was telling you that it reminds me of a tune that Bobby Rodriguez had.
Oh, really?
Which is one of our
What a
jazz living
compliment.
legends. So that was a great cut there. And I know you guys may be wondering why the sign says 3 p.m. because that's our regular scheduled time.
Mm-hmm.
But when we have our show, which is our Jazzabration Jazz Vesper show, we come in at 8:30 in the morning so that we have all the rest of the afternoon to get ready for our show that we will be hosting this evening at 5 to 7 p.m.
Jazz Vibrations.
We are honoring Mr. Don Littleton and Michael Soche, who's a basser. Don's a drummer. And we have Elena Gilliam
Exciting.
on vocalist.
Oh, she's amazing.
Durf Reclaw on flute and percussions. Mikhail Majid on piano. He's going to play piano today and not organ. And as well as Donald Dean is on drums because Roy McCurdy couldn't make it. So as you see the card on the screen and know that it is going to be an amazing time. And we do still have some tickets available. So if people would like to come.
Please come on out and support our legend artists. They are amazing, and your support means so much to them. They are so, so grateful all the time when people come out and just hear them.
Yes.
Hear them share their passion, their expertise, the love of what they do. And it's timeless. It's priceless.
Exactly.
And it's an education for artists like me to just watch other artists who have been doing it for so long and how they master their craft. And you guys should know, in this particular setting, we have it at the Morningside Church, but it's a beautiful space. It's very supported as far as the love. You're greeted when you come in and you meet wonderful people. You get to hear great music. And then out on the patio, we have a little something to eat. We have refreshments. I think we have some wine if you like. And you get to smooze and just enjoy. It's a beautiful, loving space of music and people. So we invite you to come on out this evening at 5:30 at Morningside.
Yeah,
Church.
5 o'clock. Get there at
5 o'clock.
4:45 was when we open
free
the doors.
Parking.
Yes, and
it's around the area, but you don't have to pay for parking,
right?
And it's a beautiful, safe spot. You'll love it.
Absolutely, I look forward to that. And so we're gonna get back into Maui Dreams because I want to be able to play. As a matter of fact, we're gonna play your CD.
Okay.
I'll have Miles to cue it up and just play it while people are coming in.
Okay,
and then we'll talk about it. That yes, she was on the show this morning
with Linda.
Yes,
muchas gracias, mija.
I know it. And the last song on the CD, like you said, was
Heavy Heart.
Heavy Heart,
and that was about a relationship of what I've observed again of. Someone not being open and honest in the relationship about how they felt inside. They kept everything inside. And it's like when you don't know, what do? You can't communicate if somebody doesn't share what's going on.
Right.
So I wrote a song about it.
A heavy heart.
Heavy heart. It's like somebody gets a really heavy heart because it's like you're not telling me that you love me or you're not telling me anything, So what's going on?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of us can relate to that. So I certainly can, and I've seen other folks that have gone through this.
And I always will. Please don't leave, don't walk out. I truly love you, and there is no doubt. I know my actions were certain it's you I desire. Now things are the same anymore. I'm dying just watching you walk out the door with your heavy heart. I should have trusted in you, but I can't see my secrets inside that you never knew. I just wanted to open up to you, feelings inside try to hide. I should have held your heavy heart.
That will just put you right in the mood. You're back on Jazzabrations Live with your host, Linda Morgan, and my wonderful guest, Elisa Gomez Taylor. And that song right there, that's a baby maker.
That's a baby maker. All right. Let's go out and make some beautiful babies.
I'm just saying,
Beautiful, healthy babies.
You put
we
that
got to take care
song
of them, too.
you gonna make some babies to that one. But all of your songs on your CD they are wonderfully arranged.
Thank you.
And they just all fit in with your flavor.
Well, thank you. At that particular time when I was recording, these were also musicians that I was working with in Hawaii I was performing 3 or 4 nights a week. I was at the Grand Walea for 3.5 years as a staple with my trio Tropical. And then on the special events and holidays and so forth, I bring in a few more artists to perform with us. And then I performed at all the hotels, here and there for events, and then all the restaurants. I think there were probably less than a handful of singers, but I marketed, which didn't cost much because it was an island, and you had folks that came back every year that were looking for me, and then I had my friends and fans on the island that would come in. But we all supported each other. So I would
Which
go out.
island of Hawaii were you on?
I was on Maui.
Maui, okay.
Yes, Maui for 6 years. So I recorded in Haiku, which is up in the mountains area, and it was pretty interesting. It's like homegrown. So it wasn't a very sophisticated, but it was very authentic. And so that was what we were reaching for, what I was wanting. Is just, let's just make this as authentic as possible. With, the way that we recorded up there. And it was just interesting because, you're up in the mountains and you have all kinds of animals around, and it was in a glass area of a studio, but a lot of times the screen was open, so you never know what would fly in.
What?
And I'm singing and seeing things fly in front of me, and I just close my eyes and keep on singing. I'm in Hawaii. That's, you expect those things. So it's very nice. It's nature's like
experience.
Invited nature to come on in and join me.
That had to have been a unique experience.
It
as
was.
You were
it's priceless.
Singing. Most people would probably dream to have that type of experience.
I used to dream about living on an island because my mom was from Cuba, and I used to think when I was growing up, I was like, wow, she was so lucky. It's like, why wasn't I born on an island? So I had the opportunity and most fortunate to have that experience. And while I was there, I was working full-time as a personal trainer for the Grand Walea, which was a 5-star, one of the top 5 restaurants, top hotel spa resorts in the world. So I worked there as a top personal trainer, and I trained people from all over the world, and, whether it was athletes, families, princes, the wives, the prince wives in their rooms and so forth, and everyone, CEOs and just folks that came there. So I have a million stories about who I trained, which was a lot of fun. But I also
that's
sang.
a book, girl.
It's a book. I also sang at the same hotel. So I practically lived there. So I did fitness and then I did music. So I would go home. I was a musician, a contractor musician, and then I worked there as an employee, as a trainer. So I would, after I trained, I start at 6 o'clock in the morning and then leave around 3, go home, clean up again, shower, have my coffee, take a walk on the beach because I mostly lived on the beach, take a walk on the beach. And then come back and get ready for my show. And I performed from like 8 to 12.
Wow.
It was either in a Botero bar or the Huma Huma restaurant in Maui. If you remember, if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was
so
great.
I know it had to be amazing for your guests that after you trained them and then they came down in the bar and saw you singing.
It was really wild. They were like, "Oh, you do this too?" I was like, "Yeah." Do you live here? A lot of people ask me, "Do you live here?" I practically live there.
Yes.
But it was great. I loved what I did. And I have to be honest, health and music really go hand in hand because of the schedule that I kept. Because even in between working full-time and singing practically full-time, I was recording. I was also training people on the outside because I had my own fitness business. And I was doing gigs elsewhere.
Where?
So I was working around the clock. So I probably slept 4 to 6 hours. But because I was so fine-tuned health-wise, ultimate health, I was able to do that.
And that is
what
important.
You eat, what you drink there, it was just totally different. I had fish every day with vegetables. I had fruits from off the trees, always. And I would share them with other folks. We share these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, working out every single day as well as working out my clients.
Right.
So.
And that's what people don't realize. And people always ask me all the time, how do you have so much energy? I said, because I walk. That walking helps me to stay.
Absolutely.
And helps me, gives me energy, and gives me stamina to keep going.
It strengthens the heart.
Yes.
So if you phrase it in that way, walking, and if you can run, that's great, or any type of exercise where you are really moving your body at a faster pace, it works the heart. It makes the heart strong. It creates that endurance that we really need and that we want. So if you really want something like that, then we have to get up and start doing it. And you pace yourself. You start out with maybe walking 20 minutes. And then you build up to 30, you build up to 40, you build up to 50, and stay on that track. There's no secret method to it. Just do it.
That's why I get on Facebook and I encourage them, just take one foot off the floor, roll out the bed, because that's what it takes sometimes to even just get up and get out there.
Absolutely.
So I know we are digressing into health because health is wealth, and your wellness also translates into how you are able to have
perform,
longevity in your
and
music.
work every day, and do the things that you want to do with your, whether it's just you or with your family or with your friends, and just being conscious.
That's right.
Conscientious about it. Yes.
Absolutely. And you look fabulous as always.
Oh, thank you.
And
so do you.
I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to every day eat healthy.
Yes.
That's another thing. You have to eat, watch what you eat.
Exactly.
Make sure that you're eating the right things. And so, and we do a great job at trying to just stay fit.
That's
so that
right.
we can be here longer for our friends and family.
Absolutely.
Continue with the work and the music. I know that a lot of people have talked about, fitness and health and wealth and how they all go together. But even putting the music in with it, especially for an entertainer. Coming up in January, speaking of that, I'm going to start a jazz yoga.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've been asked to, at Crenshaw Yoga, Miss Carly. Hi, Miss Carly. I know
I've
you're
been
not
there. I know Miss Carly. I've taken
Yes.
some yoga there.
We're going to do Friday night jazz yoga fusion.
Oh, I love it.
So get ready for that in January.
I'll be
the
there.
first Friday in January, I believe we're going to be taking that on. So music and yoga and just fitness. I cannot wait for that. So we'll stay tuned for that as well. And then is there one other cut on the CD that we missed? Or did we catch them all?
I'm not sure.
Did we got them all? I think there was like 7 or 8 cuts on there that we played so far. The time.
2 more?
Let's go to one of the ones that just play it, and then we'll talk about it as we hear it.
You might have on there Supe Esperar. It means
Wait.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is one of my favorites in the world. True Love Takes Time.
It does.
And the guitarist is Rolando Morales.
Wow.
Excuse me. And I met Rolando in his band when I lived in Hawaii. They were fantastic musicians, and I worked with several of them. And they sometimes do work here in L.A., but he lives in the Bay Area. So when I was recording, I said, Rolando, I have this song. You have to play on it. And he said, okay.
He's a guitarist?
Yes, he's a good, and he sings beautifully, but he doesn't sing on here. But he plays guitar on here. Yeah. So hopefully, if he's close by, I can get him to come to the CD release party and play.
Oh, absolutely.
As a matter of fact, we actually played 3 years ago at the Epic Lounge.
Oh, downtown?
No, in the Valley.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 gigs there, and he happened to be in town. I said, hey, come join me on the gig. And he said, okay. And he came on over, and I had a 4-piece band. It was just amazing. He did some amazing Latin jazz music. And but I hope to get him again to
come and play for live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
play with us again. But he's such an amazing guitarist, as you will hear.
Where I feel safe and enchanted with your caress, you soothe my mind. I'm bound to your heart. True love takes time. When I look into your eyes, the truth of love tells me why your eyes are my devotion. As words of love flow from your tongue, my passion burns inside cold, and I shall come. Our sacred bond prevails. It's a dream come true, a gift of pleasure for us two. You soothe my mind, I'm bound to your heart. True love takes time.
Yes, it does. True love takes time. That is another
homegrown song, because as you can tell, there's no specific rhythm in that song.
Absolutely.
I mean, when I say there's not a click, obviously, but you can tell it's faster in the front, in the middle, and then it slows down towards the end. So it's very
melodic.
Authentic.
It's very melodic.
So what's great about working with an artist like coffee this morning. Forgive me. Rolando Morales is that he follows and blends in with the singer and with musicians. I have also witnessed, he's played with musicians he's never played with before, and folks will ask me, how many years have they been playing together? Because he listens and blends in so beautifully.
Musician. That's what he's called.
Yes.
Well, we're going to take another caller.
Oh.
Thank you for calling Jazzabrations Live. I'm your host, Linda Morgan, and I'm here with my guest, Elisa, who's on the line.
Yes, you are. Good morning. This is Anthony.
Good morning. Good morning, Anthony.
Yeah, what a pleasure to be able to call in, and what a nice job on the CD. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I know I'm going to get a signature on my copy.
You absolutely will. Captain Penn, yes, you will. Reverend Captain Penn, yes, you will.
Yes. Are you enjoying yourself on the show this morning?
Yeah. I'm here with Linda. And I'm here with you now, so of course.
Right. Thank you for calling in, Reverend Captain Penn.
What a pleasure. Well, a special birdie I know hit me up and said, oh, don't forget to call in. I was like, oh, my goodness, yeah. So, in the middle of the bulletin, in the middle of getting ready and all that kind of stuff. And
yes.
then, oh, my goodness, the lyrics. The lyrics. I'm still stuck on Hawaii. And have you ever seen a half moon fall in the rain?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just telling that story, so it just draws people in, draw their attention, so they can think, oh, wow, I've experienced something like that, or, wow, I've never heard of that.
Okay.
And we're going to have to get some half moon to put in the decorations for the CD release party. I just thought of that idea.
I love that.
Yes.
Wow. From the ceiling, right?
Yeah, I'm going to the calendar and take a look at my vacation times for next year and see if I can make it over to, Maui or someplace.
Well, let me know, because I have some wonderful friends that live there, and I'd be happy to make that connection. They'll show you a wonderful time, a fabulous time. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you. And would any of them happen to be golfers?
I'll find out for you. You know how resourceful I am.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So you've talked about everything this morning. Y'all talked about being in love. You've talked about being on vacation. You've talked about your connections to the different people that have performed on that album. You have said everything but that you're a hopeless romantic.
I am a romantic, and I'm going to continue to write more songs about it, too.
That's right.
We need songs about it. Yeah, it's healing. It's cathartic. It's it puts us in the right frame of mind.
It does, and that's what we try to do. That's what I try to do, is put the listeners in a different frame of mind so they can relax and they can look at somebody and show, with their eyes, their loving eyes, instead of their eyes like, okay, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, but switch that mindset for a moment and say, oh, honey, thank you for this and thank you for that. Because all it is just making a switch. And it's what we see on TV that propels us sometimes to be, more assertive and maybe not so nice, and then versus seeing something that's fun on TV and loving on TV, happy on TV, or music-wise, and it switches our mind into a mindset where we say something nice to somebody or give them a nice look. So...
Well, we thank you for calling in, Reverend Captain Penn, and we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Very soon. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, our listeners, for calling in. And
yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Linda.
Morning. This has been a great show. And I know that all of our listeners are going to go to CD Baby and iTunes and all the other mediums. SoundCloud is that another buying source?
Yes, it is.
SoundCloud as well, to purchase Elisa's CD, Maui Dreams. And while you're there, pick up Lava Man.
Exactly. And remember, ElisaGomezTaylor.com, ElisaGomezTaylor.com for my website. You can hear more music. And if you want to send me an email, ElisaGomezTaylor@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you.
And if you want to see her in person, come tonight, 5 to 7 at, can you bring some Lava Man CDs?
I can, absolutely.
Okay, whoever comes up to us at the show tonight, I'm going to buy 3 Lava Man CDs. But you have to tell me that you saw us on live at Jazzabrations Live this morning, and I will give you a CD. How about that? So with that, this has been a great show.
It has, closing out with Supe Esperar.
Yes. So you definitely can get her music. We appreciate you purchasing her music, and hopefully you'll come and see her tonight at our show at our Jazzabrations Jazz Vespers at Morningside United Church of Christ, 8722 Crenshaw Boulevard. We do have some tickets still available. They're $25 at the door. So please come and enjoy the fellowship. Thank you. And next week, it will be at 3 p.m. here at MorrisMediaLive.com with my great friend Felicia, the poetess Morris, and Morris Media Studios. Thank you for chiming in. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.